Alright, let's play some Nier Reincarnation. Just doing some Sunday things, like getting my arena rank back up to the top bracket. And if there's time, I might do some subjugation. And we're just kind of chill and casual today, so stop by and drop in the chat. Alright, a large stamina recovery. First thing I want to do is head to arena. I just need to secure that 46,000 mark and then kind of keep an eye on it for the rest of the day. So I can fill in the last two of those purple dots. So I'm going to try to find the lowest number to gain as many ranks as possible. This looks pretty doable here. Trying to monitor my stream, but it's acting very strange.
I'm not afraid.
Just can't seem to get it right. It's always going to be me fiddling. Here we go. Me fiddling with my phone at the beginning of the stream. But one of these days I'll get it worked out. There we go. It thought that my current live stream was a previous video. So, and we're back. Kind of. It won't play. It hates me. What are you going to do? Alright, who's around? Who's around? Tell me what's on your mind today. Zulverse! How are you, Zulverse? New to the game. So glad you're playing it, though. You got A2 and White Dress Girl. Do you mean this White Dress Girl or 2P? And in how many pulls did you get those characters? And I can advise you on your gem saving. There we go. It's actually playing now. Cool. Let me check the chat here. Well, okay, so A2 was a good score. White Dress Girl, I think you're talking about 2P, but Akeha also has the white dress. So A2 was a good acquisition there. If you manage to get that with only a few pulls, saving might be... I have more questions for you. So you're new, you pulled on Automata Banner. Did you... What did you score out of all those free pulls? Saving is always pretty good, but Automata characters are A2, etc. are still very good, and it's worth maybe trying to get some Ascensions. We don't know too much about what's on the horizon. Well, let me target this and read your messages here.
You should leave before I change my mind.
Yeah, I definitely want to rush through the story in the event. You're going to get way more gems from that. Okay, how do you upgrade the weapons without the dupes of those weapons? So this is where the game, you get a little bottlenecked, and I'll head over to my enhanced menu so you can check it out. So for weapons, the Ascension material is called the Black Pearl. And for characters, it's called handbooks. So if I'm going to go here. And let's say... you pulled A2, so here's A2's weapon. And you can see I haven't ascended this thing yet. It is a good weapon. There are better fire greatswords in the game, though. But you see, I'd have to spend these black pearls, and they're very precious. They're very hard to come by. You accumulate these very slowly as you go through the game. So you have to really plan how you're going to spend your black pearls. So that's the unfortunate thing. You do get a little bottleneck there. And then also when it comes to characters, let's say you go here and, for example, my A2. Okay, by the way, by white dress girl, did you mean this 2P or did you mean this Akeha? So if I go here, a good example, from this banner there is 2B, and I pulled 2B back in August, and I haven't touched her. And if I want to do a sender, I would have to use these advanced handbooks, which are also, it's super precious, hard to come by. Oh, you got Akeha. Okay, cool. That's a pretty good haul. Now, did you pull all the way to Pity or not? Or did you manage to get A2 and Akeha in only a few pulls? And how many gems do you have left? So yeah, you can see I would need to spend the handbook. Without the dupes, I would have to spend the handbooks. I'm going to save my handbooks. The best use of your handbooks are for the dark characters. The dark characters still tend to be the best, even... Okay, cool. You only used 9k and you scored A2. And you're new, so you're going to have a crap ton of gems from story and all the events and whatnot. That is a tough choice. Because if you kept pulling, you could get more ascensions on your A2 if you pull more of her. Sometimes you get horrible luck, though, and you might pull all the way to Pity, which, by the way, is 200. Let's go and check it out. So right here, you get the shards, and you get 10 per pull. So you'd have to make it all the way up to 200 to be able to pity a character. 2P is also very nice to have. Her attack is very high. We can come over and check them out. I have them maxed. But 2P does not hit as hard as EX Lars, the dark character Lars, which you can farm. Even though her base attack is one of the highest in the game, 6,000. Check this out. When I started, I saw that higher number and I was like, oh man, I'm gunning for 2P. I do love her costume though too. Sometimes you just gotta go with what you like. But, and then what I didn't realize, this is good advice here. Well, let's find A2. Where is she? What? I can never find her. Oh, there she is. Okay, so her attack is 6,050. Lower number, right? But don't be fooled. Great swords. See, 2P uses one-hand swords, and A2 uses great swords. greatswords have higher stats. So A2 ends up being the harder hitter. She ends up being the heavier damage dealer. Oh, you still have 60k. Yeah, you could go for a pity. We don't know what's on the horizon. However, they did lay out somewhat of a roadmap, and it looks like the next thing we might get is a replicant, a reprint, which those characters are okay. And then the next thing that we're really looking forward to is maybe in May, we're getting a Final Fantasy XIV collab, and that might be where we see the next major power creep. So if you, let's say you got 60k and you still have a lot of story left, and let's say you went ahead and you already did 9k. So you have 30 shards. So you would blow almost all of your 60k going to pity, but hopefully along the way you'd get more copies of A2, and at the very worst you would get to pity, and then maybe pity either A2 or 2P, whether you wanted more of a spread. The spread will help you in subjugation, have more hard-hitting characters to spread out, because you need 9 different characters in subjugation. And or as a free-to-play, you might want to just focus on beefing up your A2 as much as possible and not having to spend handbooks. So hopefully you end up with a few copies of her, and then you pity another copy of her for the Ascension. Those are your options. After you clear out the chapters, you're going to end up with a lot of gems. Interested in PvP and you don't know how hard PvE is. It's not too bad. It can take a little while. You might get hung up. Let's take a look here. So if we're talking about story, as you get to the higher chapters here and you get to the very hard mode, we're starting to talk 100,000 force. It might take you a little bit to get there. Maybe a month. Maybe not. Maybe a few weeks. Depends. Your A2 will help you a lot. There can be annoying things like bosses that blind you and that kind of thing. So right now I'm kind of let me show you some PvP. Oh, by the way, you got Akeha. She'll be on your PvP team. Let's go ahead and take a look at her. So at first glance you might say, oh, 4,000, she doesn't hit that hard. Agility only 1,000. By the way, agility 1,000 is the standard, and that's not, she's not slow, by the way. I'm going to explain in a second. If we come over and check out someone like Abstract Gale, it's the 1,200, very fast, and she also has a Fleetfoot passive, so up 20%. So it's 1,200 and an additional 20%. That's not timed. It's always 20%. Her dark character has 40, which is the highest in the game. Nobody has 40. That's why everyone likes going for her dark character for PvP specifically. I personally skipped her. I like to use my Lars as my one-hand sword user. It's just my preference. You'll see that A2 is not high on tier lists in PvP, but a lot of people use her very successfully. Once she starts to get slabbed out, her defense isn't so low. She's kind of thought of, her and 2P are thought of as a glass cannon. But once you start beefing her up, she can actually be very useful. You basically want her to come in before anyone and do her normal auto attacks and try to chain on them. So you want to build her for increased chance for chaining. I can show you what those memoirs look like in a second. My personal favorite for performance is definitely EX Lars, the dark character Lars, and Lavania. They're very standard first choices because they're good in PvP and PvE. My personal favorite costume is 2P. I just think she looks so cool. In fact, all of the Automata white characters just look so cool, in my opinion. Who else do I like? I don't know why. I love Baldy. She just looks so cool. And I gotta relaunch that app. It froze. Okay. So A2 can actually be useful in PvE, and you got white Akeha. And what I was trying to get to is Akeha is very fast because of her passives. I want to look at that in a second. And she has a passive for increasing her auto attack chains. So her job is to act before anyone else. Before any of the skills pop off, she comes in and chains an attack and chews up most of somebody's HP gauge. Okay, let's look. Let's go back to Mech. Usually people call her Mech Akeha for short. Because her name is Mechanical Assassin. Okay, so agility looks like it's just the standard 1000. But she has a Fleetfoot passive of 30%. Very nice. It's timed, but in arena that doesn't matter because arena battles usually don't go past 60 seconds. Then she has the training, which gives her 10% chance to that her normal attacks will be a 3-chain. Because sometimes, if you know, the normal attacks are only, it's a 1 hit sometimes, if the RNG is bad. So you want to beef up that chance. And let's take a look at how I have her built. Wait a minute. Please don't freeze on me again. I'm not using this team. I'm using this one. So I went ahead and put memoirs on her that increase her chance of chaining attacks even more. Oops, that's not what I look at this memoir. So increased chance, normal attack will be 3-chain or more. By another 10%. That's if you have the large set bonus, that means I have 3 of the same memoir type to get that large set bonus. Only problem here is I might rebuild this. Now I know better that, like for example, Lars is built so that his crit rate is through the roof. And I sacrifice having all 3 so that I can bring in this one, which has all the juicy crit rates. That's not it. 5 isn't even that good, but I got my main at 20. And then these were just as good as I could get them. 20 and 9.5, pretty nice. And weapon skill cooldown is usually what you want on 2 of your characters. Unless you're going 2 support characters, 1 DPS. But your main DPS characters, you want skill cooldown. The other thing that helps with that is having the EX weapons in the subs. Story missions, 3 stars. That's how you maximize your gems. Oops. I think you're talking about this, correct? When you come here and it says these 3 stars, is that what you mean? Once your force is high enough, it'll automatically fill in the ones that you didn't get, so you can always go back and get those later. So we looked at my PvP team, and oops. The first thing I wanted to do today was get my rank back up to the top brackets. Now all those things I talked about, we can kind of see them in action here. Let's try a battle. I always like to target the glass cannon first, like E2, and watch. Akeha's going to go first and chain a bunch of attacks and almost kill her. Pretty nice. Lars has the skill cooldown. I'm going to pop these as soon as I can. Same thing with Lavania. They're going to follow up, and he's just going to wipe the floor clean. Because he's ridiculously powerful. He gets a timed buff for crit damage, so if you boost that crit rate, he's just going to decimate everything in his path. Only problem is he's a little slow. So if I climbed up really high and started facing people that have Gale and people that really have their builds dialed, he might end up standing there while everyone else acts. Same thing with Lavania. So my team is very strong, and that's why I have Akeha to do the fast stuff. Because these other experimental builds with the new Demos, who reduces the attack of the opponent right off the start. But then I really wanted to use Lars and Lavania because they're my strongest, but because he eats up a lot of the first actions, they just end up standing there, and it's like, come on. So that's why I brought, I don't know. There's also, I did this in a previous stream where I tried out the meme combo with New Year's Baldy and Celeb Demos. They both have a skill that can, character skill that can pop off at the beginning. He directs all the attacks to him. He weakens everyone, and then you only have 1 DPS. But if he's slow, he just sits there. So I always just keep reverting back to my offensive build. 3 offensive characters. That's just my preference. Let's try this team. The game is very cool. I like it a lot. It's my main game. I used to be a Mobius Final Fantasy player. I liked that game a lot and did the multiplayer and was competitive in the towers and everything.
You should leave before I change my mind.
Played Romancing Saga Re-Universe for a year. I still play it, but very just minimal. That game was just kind of just to fill the void. And then this game came out. I saw it. I've never actually even played the Nier games, but now I'm turned on to them. They look very cool. Amazing storytelling, philosophy, graphics, gameplay. And then this game has a lot of the things that I liked about Mobius. The high quality graphics, the deeper battle mechanics. Between arena's not that deep, but subjugation gets a little more involved. Towers get more involved. And I'm glad I could turn you on to the inner workings of the game a little more, because the more players, the merrier, in my opinion. Sometimes these gacha games are at risk of getting shut down if they don't perform well enough, so I hope you continue playing and maybe throw a couple bucks in, you know? Things like that keep the game alive. And of course, I appreciate you stopping by. If you want to throw a sub on the channel, that would be awesome. Maybe you already did and it doesn't notify me. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I use OBS to stream, and I have a couple of little widgets up here, but nothing tells me like who's watching and who. It's possible. One day I'll figure it out. For now, so I do some gameplay, do some chatting. All right, so this one looks good. All right, one more bracket to go. And once again, I target. If I saw A2, I would have targeted her. You don't want her to act. She's just lethal. But 2P was also a good choice to target. So anyone with high firepower, is a glass cannon, and doesn't have high agi, you want to target them first. Get them out of there. People build A2 with agi and training. Training is the increased chance for normal attacks. So a really well built A2 will come in first and just clobber someone and one-shot them. Hopefully get a 5 combo and just decimate them. And when there's only 2 left, odds are in your favor. I always prefer Akeha a little bit. She's a little more durable. A2, like I said, if when you're playing, the enemy can't target you, but if you know RNG not on your side and someone targets A2 and she gets knocked down, then you're screwed. Then you only have 2 left.
Not afraid.
All right, this new Noelle right here. She's very strong. We want to get her out of the way. That EX Akeha would have also been a good choice. Probably would have been a better choice to target first. She's slower, but very strong. Let's see, 43, we still have a ways to go. This is something to consider. I kind of want to go up against this guy, but Lars is using wind, and that means he's going to be weak to fire. So the element weaknesses, they're a little bit different in this game. Dark and light are the way you would think, weak against each other. But water is strong against fire. Fire is strong against wind, and wind is strong against water. So they go in a triangle like that. So it's not back and forth, water and fire. So I might just kind of, just to make things a little more neutral, I'm going to go over here and I have Lars built for fire. And I have A2 on this team. I don't feel like changing it. Let's just go with it and see how she does. This was the team I was using to farm bots. Just so I have more firepower, I know that I'm going to win. And I just want to knock it out. Knock the battle out sooner. Target A2.
I'm not afraid.
And there she goes. She has the training, and like I said, ends it right there. Before any skills pop off, A2 has knocked someone completely out. So, pretty effective. Gonna go up here and spend a battery to replenish my BP. go back to my other team and pick on this person right here.
You should leave before I
If you want to be
change my
sneaky,
mind.
put your strongest character here because they tend to be hidden from view. Oh no, my Akaya is dead. Okay. Good thing my Lars and Lavania are just beefy as hell. I mean, my Lars has 250 HP. I'm a day one player. If you're watching this on YouTube later, Zulverse asked, when did I start to play? Yeah, A2, she struck several times, but that was one action from her. And that's why she's pretty useful in Arena. Maybe to be safe, you put a little defense on her. Try to find some memoirs that have HP and whatnot. But it's best to just... She's probably your best character. You might want to give her some slabs. Right here. I don't know if you found this feature yet. And I don't have her terribly slabbed out. Let's see. I'm just into her second panel on the main, and then... also just into the second one. Oh, that's pretty good actually on the second, on the Curse God. Girl with the flower on the eye. This one? Zulverse asks, oh my god, who is the girl with the flower on the eye? If you're talking about this is Zero. She was... wait, which one's... sorry. This might be Zero. This is... Kaine. I don't know how to say her name. She's from Replicant, and we're going to get that reprint soon. So she's just like 2P. She's Glass Cannon with something like 6,000 attacks, something like that. Every event collab has one of them. So from the Drakengard collab, it's 0. Mostly people went for one... the other one? This one? Oh, this one. Yeah, that's 0. So she's from the Drakengard collab. And most people went for one of the two of them because they played the game and they're a fan of the game. I kind of skipped those banners. I didn't have enough for pity at the time. And I was patiently waiting for first anniversary, hoping for the next power creep. But on the first anniversary, we just kind of had niche power creep. All right, let's go back to some battles. Another fire. Hey, let's have fun with the A2 team again. See how this goes. Targeting A2. Uh-oh, Gale's faster. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're dead. Target one of them. Oh, target Lavanya since we started on him. Oh. A2's done. Make sure you manually pop off the companion skills, otherwise the enemies will go before you. If the battle goes that long. Excuse me. Zulverse asks, you think there will be a future huge power creep? So my opinion on the power creep in this game is I'm very impressed with it. So comparing it to something like Mobius or, rest in peace, Mobius, or Romancing Saga Reuniverse, which is still ongoing. In Romancing Saga, the original characters, even the original limited characters, they're just dead in the water. Like, they're completely obsolete. Where in this game, all of the limited characters, we have everything Japan has, so it's not like we're behind Japan in the story and a few of the normal pool characters, but we're pretty much up to date. We have all the same limited characters as Japan, and A2 came out a year ago in Japan, and she's still amazing. Abstract Gale is a normal pool character that came out at the beginning of the game. She's still pretty good. Has attack in the 5,000s. She's the fastest in the game other than her dark character. Yeah, Japan, Zulverse asks, Japan is ahead of global. Yes, in the story and in the normal pool characters only, though. And some events. Like, they have a current tower right now we don't have yet. Maybe another tower we haven't had yet. But as for power creep, they're going very slow in this game. I'm very impressed with it. So like I said, a lot of characters that have been around since the beginning are still good. And then we had the new, I was waiting for months for the first anniversary characters, saving up my gems to go hard on that banner. They came and they're pretty cool, but like I said, they're niche. So we got Celeb Saryu, who specializes in light element only and needs to have high HP to do her damage. She can do very nice damage if she has high HP. But if she gets hit, she starts hitting like a noodle, even with that Luminous Rush. So when you have the 40% element buff with a base of 4,000, that's actually very good, but staffs don't have high attack power. Earlier I mentioned how the great swords have very high attack power, and that's why A2 is even more powerful than 2P. Then we also had, usually we get some good PvE and then one good PvP character on these banners. We also got Celebrion. Where is he? Who is a good support character for water only. So again, element specialist. And in addition, he has a good defense debuff on his character skill, furthering his role as support. Why can't I see him? Right here. This is cool, a party buff. Some of the newer power creep, we're starting to see that party buffs on support characters. And then HP, and then 30% defense debuff. And then we had Demos, who I mentioned earlier, who is good for PvP because he can use his character skill from the beginning of battle and weaken everyone and also boost everyone's defense. And also buff light. So as you can see, the power creep is very niche. We have yet to see a character with attack higher than 6,000s. That's what I'm waiting for. As soon as we see that 7,000 attack, I'm gunning for that character. And it's cool the way they handled it. So yeah, maybe the new Noelle can hit hard in Dark Element, but she's not making A2 obsolete, for example. And the dark characters are always there. They're a very slow grind to obtain them. But they are still the strongest characters in the game. That was a cool choice on the developer's part, I think. Daily summons. If you're new, you might not have unlocked the daily summons yet. You have to play up to a chapter or something or other. I can't remember exactly what it is. And also, Zulver's asked, do I have all the characters? No. I had to skip. I really wanted Emil, the the dude with the... It's not really a human. He's got this cool, like, cartoony looking head, and he's a staff user. I would have liked to have him, but again, I didn't have enough for pity, and it wasn't worth... actually, I did throw a couple YOLO polls on that banner to gamble and didn't get anything. Who else do I not have? There's some new normal pool characters I don't have. The new Lavania is very strong, but he's a fire specialist. The new Noelle is very strong, but she's a dark specialist. I don't have either of those yet.
You should leave before I change my mind.
So again, so you see Akeha also does this thing where she rushes in and chains attacks, but she never really finishes the job. Lars always has to come in and clean it up. $44, we're getting close. We have to get to 46,000 right here to enter the top bracket. Here's an all-fighter team, meaning A2 most likely has the most powerful weapon. It's a normal pool greatsword, and I've yet to even pull one copy of it. So this team could be dangerous, but this one is lower force and a lower rank anyway. The lower rank you choose, the higher you climb. I'll take a chance on this team, even though there's fire. Two P's over here hiding. Yeah, Ake has greatsword. It's always in the way. I can't see who's there. Sometimes you gotta act fast with your targeting too. You gotta make that decision very quickly. So here, Lars is a threat, but he's pretty durable.
My thanks.
So if you choose him first, you might be chipping away at him still while everyone's able to attack you. And 2P is kind of like A2. You don't want to give her a chance to act with that stupidly high attack. This person looks dangerous. Good God, look at this. 260,000 force. I can't come close to hitting that. They must have all dark characters using dark weapons. I can afford to take a loss. Let's see how their team looks. I don't like losing my my chain bonus, but I really want to see how 260,000 hits. They have the dark Baldy. This guy right here. Oh, they have Dark Gale and Dark... Yeah, see, like I said, it's all dark characters. I got lucky to block that hit. Otherwise, okay. Oh, looking good. Looking good. So sometimes force is not always an indicator. I didn't notice, but they might have been main-handing their EX weapons, which have very slow skill cooldowns. Silver's asks, that was a 90k hit. I don't remember exactly what hit you're referring to. Yep, RNG, because there's blocking RNG in PvP, which is the most annoying part of it. There's RNG in how many normal attacks you're going to chain. So Akeha is specializing in chaining, but there's still a chance that she might kind of swoop in and just hit once. Then there's also a chance that the enemy might block and counter. Sometimes you get really screwed and they block and then they block again, and then it's just over if they block twice. I like this team. There's water, which means Lars can take them out. But water, I'm suspicious that it's going to be New Year's Baldy who's going to provoke all my attacks while their DPS slams into me while I'm chipping away at tanky Baldy. Yeah, we can look at top 10. Here they are. Now, let me see here. I'm not totally positive if this is the team they're using or if that's just... Using Beach Akeha is very interesting. It's kind of like using A2. She has very high attack, but she's not fast. Gale is very fast. Lavanya is always good too. I don't know about this. I don't think this is their team. All dark is not very wise. I could be wrong. Let's look at rank 2. This is definitely a PvP team. This is the combo I'm talking about. So if you can build it right, it's very powerful. However, whenever I try to do it, my Baldy just isn't tanky enough. He goes down, and then he's not doing enough damage. Demos isn't doing enough damage. And my 1 DPS, if they're not fast enough, I don't like that team. For me personally, that's just my all these other people are trolling the #1 position by copying his name, copying their name. Oh man, let's see what they're using. Wow, everyone's using guns? It looks like a troll. I don't know, man. But, hold on a second. This looks like... No, that's the Lacrima Griff buffing weapon. Very curious. These are both the dark guns. Guns do have high attack power. This one boosts your agi through the roof. Maybe they are. But a lot of trolling does happen when in the top 5 people. Here's another one. I'm starting to think I better go work on this the dark Demos gun. Yeah, look, he's main hit. Okay, that's the Akeha weapon. It's off weapon type. The reason people are main-handing EX weapons up here is because it's a way to counter this setup. Zulverse asks, is that the free units? None of these are the welfare units. No. Maybe you're thinking of the new Lars. But this is EX Lars, the one that you have to do the slow farm. The dark Lars, however you want to say it. All fire, 2 EX main hands. Not sure what's up with this fire fist. My screen is kind of dark, so I have to get close to see if you're wondering why I'm doing that. Interesting. Both of them using off-type weapons. Alright, not off-type, but all using EX main hand. I guess when you're going up against this combo, you just need all of the attack power you can get, and that's why they're doing that. And here's the combo again. This is the... No. That's that greatsword, the fire greatsword I was talking about earlier that I have not been able to pull. Interesting that it's on demos. I think I've fought this person before. Well, anyway, that's how you view it. You can learn a lot, but those builds only matter when you're that high. Otherwise, here, let's look at my weapon here. This is the ideal weapon because, one, I'm built for skill cooldown reduction, and then I'm using a weapon that has the shortest cooldown. You want to, when you consider your weapons, you want to look at this. Go here, cooldown 14 seconds. That is the fastest in the game, and then 15. So there are a whole bunch of weapons that are 14, 15. Then I get a nice wind buff. And the HP helps quite a bit. I could bump that up 1 more percent to 15, but 14, 15, not too big of a difference. Zulverse asks, so, wait, you can get weapons alone. What do you mean by that? I'm not sure. I don't understand the question. Okay, so we're gonna try this guy now, and like I said, I predict that there's gonna be New Year Baldy with that water. That's just a hunch, and we'll see how my attacks will get redirected towards him. But Lars has wind, which should help to knock him out pretty quickly. Oh, wait, weapons alone without the characters. Yes. There are a ton of normal pool 4-star weapons that you pull. Yeah, there's Baldy. I'm just going to target him. And there he goes. Oh, I almost killed him. But you see, he heals when he does that. Now we're chewing. Okay, I knocked him out pretty quickly. So no worries. New Year Baldy can't pull his shenanigans when you knock him out before he can cast that character skill. Let's try another one. I see that water. I bet it's Baldy. Let's try it. No. Who's using water then?
Before I change my mind.
Oh, it's the scale. Okay, knocked her out. I'm going to target Lavania because Fio is not going to be too big of a threat on the offense. Alright, got a new person in the chat here. So sorry if I say your name wrong. Isaac. They ask, is this mobile? And they say, this looks cool. It is a mobile game, yes. And so I play on my phone most of the time, and then when I'm streaming like this, I use BlueStacks emulator on my PC. And it's a free-to-play gacha game. So, but it's got great story content. End game content like subjugation and towers, and then what I'm doing currently is PvP, player versus player. So it's just like all the other gacha games out there. If you like that design and you like Nier, then I think you will love it. If you hate gacha games, might want to steer clear. I hate to turn anyone off from it, but I love the game. Yeah, definitely check it out. Okay, let's try this team. Yeah, the graphics are beautiful. Oh, since you're here, before you go, Isaac, if I'm saying your name right, let me show you the cage. Because when you do the story content, you walk around this beautiful environment. For a mobile game, you just can't believe how good the graphics are. After this battle, I'll go check out the cage. So now they said playing PGR and waiting for the Nier collab. Remind me, what is PGR? It does, and that's the same reason I liked Mobius Final Fantasy back in the day. I couldn't believe it looked like a console game, but it was on my phone. And it was on Steam. Punishing Gray Raven. I've never heard of that. Okay, check this out. I want to show you the cage. Oh, no. I could go here, but now we have the map feature, and I believe my favorite one is 7 because it looks all autumny. I just made that word up. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel and jumping in the chat. The more the merrier, and if you like what you're seeing here, go ahead and throw a sub on it. Would be much appreciated. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so let's walk through here. So this is kind of how the story content goes. Oh, look at this place.
Yes, you appear to be a human.
Actually, I have to come through and collect these things now.
Perhaps these
I wish I had more time to come through and... Those are good rewards. Oh. I wish I had more time to come through and collect all that stuff, but man, it takes hours just to clear out all the maps, and then they replenish like the next day.
Okay.
This is so cool. The camera changes. So you'll have this, you'll have these like protagonist characters walking through the cage, and then you'll enter sub-story sequences. The stories outline the main normal pool characters of the game. So then you'll come up to one of these things, you'll enter a battle.
Have a nice time, Mr. Monster.
And we'll just do a battle, why not? See, now we'll have a sub-story about this guy. The guy who I was earlier referring to as Baldy. There are two Baldies. They're husband and wife living in this colony where they're always under attack from these crazy creatures called flowers. And the flowers are such a cool enemy design. Where do I go? But I'm going to skip this story as soon as the skip button comes up.
And all others who wear it, as people without freedom. The rules must be obeyed.
Ooh, didn't realize it was going to be this long. There it is. I thought that was going to be a battle. Oh, then we have the battle.
Let's get started.
You get some additional rewards from replaying these battles, but it doesn't seem to be worth it from what I've seen.
I'll kill them all.
Oh god. Oh, here we go. Ooh.
It appears the memory. How terrible.
I'm just gonna do one more little walkthrough here, just so we can see a few more angles of this beautiful landscape.
Has a collar like I do?
Well,
Okay, so I got a couple of
actually have a collar.
whatever you call those things, jewels. No, I don't want to do this. Back to arena. That gives you the idea of what the story mode looks like. I'm almost at my goal bracket here. So our defense is holding up pretty well. Well, right when I said that, but I think we're doing okay. Once again, make sure you manually pop off that companion skill, or the enemies will always go first, and they're very strong attacks. They are likely to one-shot you. So close, so close. Ooh, 2 water. Oh, that's Cabbage. Anyone familiar? Cabbage is a YouTuber. I like his channel a lot. I like Cabbage. Very well-spoken guy. I'm going to target his Baldy. I've been up against his team before. It's pretty strong. That didn't help because now he's just going to heal himself. Let's hope that we can hold our own here. I know that his Beach Akeha is maxed. Oh, okay, we're good. Sorry, Cabbage. Okay, I think I just got it. So it is Sunday, and at midnight, which is 5 hours from now, we will have a weekly reset and rewards for weekly. As long as you're in the top bracket, you get the max rewards. 200 coins, and it's all about those coins And what is this? A medium versus force small. Medium is 50. And the small is only 10, so 40. So a little bit more here and then 20 more coins. It's not too big of a deal, but when you're going hard in a gacha game, you want to just squeeze out every last ounce of everything. I have some BP left, so moist. Let's go with moist. See if I can knock down A2 before Baldi can... Nope. But at least she's still targeted. So now we'll have our attacks directed towards Baldi. But as soon as he's down, we'll resume attacking A2. Again, I'm going to use that character skill or the companion skill. I'm also looking at who's left, which is 2P. She's light element, so I'm going to make sure I pop off the dark companion skill. We're looking pretty good here. So I don't need to spend any more BP. I'm happy with that. I might wrap it up here soon. How to get back out of the cage, go to quests. And right here in Mama's room. I was thinking about maybe doing an attempt at subjugation. Still trying to get my first triple S. Let's do our daily summons though. Sometimes you see a purple show up. I've gotten characters in here even. Oh man, so this type of door guarantees a purple. Man, right when I said that, and here I am getting a purple on my daily, on stream. With the birds. Sometimes the birds indicate that it's a character. Who do I wish that purple is? I wish that it's Lacrima Griff. Because I only have one copy of him and I really want some ascensions without having to spend books. I would not be mad if I got one of the new normal pool characters that I don't have yet, like like that new Demos. I didn't mention him, that Wind Demos. Just a weapon. But hey, a purple on a daily, I'll take it. Oh, that's new for me. Long cooldowns. Bolt Vigor, which means you have to have high HP. Not the biggest fan of Bolt Vigor. And then a Blitz skill, which is just damage. Recovery. I don't know what recovery does. And until I, well, let's go evolve it and find out. I do have a lot of really good water greatswords, though. And by a lot, I mean 2. This is pretty nice, but that's the New Year Baldi's weapon, which is all defense-based. Here it is. I just want to favorite it real quick. Lock it. You have to upgrade it before you can evolve it. Alright, let's find out what that does now. Interesting. So once this gets fully upgraded, we're looking at... in its current state of not being ascended, it goes up to 8.1 HP recovered when your HP falls below 70%. My guess is that it either goes up to 10 or 15 once it's fully ascended. It'd be really cool if it was 30, right? I think there are some weapons that do that. Anyway, that's that. First thing I'm going to do is go and receive all these, because if I have a bad attempt, it's going to count for the rewards that I get, for the daily rewards. So I like a lot of my scores. I'm going to go ahead and collect these. It can be very time consuming to tweak your loadout, but the last one I was working on was this. My light team versus the, what do they call him? Should say here. Well, whatever, the Dark Curse God. I wonder when he casts this. I thought it said somewhere, like what wave, what happens in what wave. Where's that info? Yeah, I just looked at this. Maybe it's because my screen is so dark. Maybe that's why my second wave can hardly, well, can't get a knockdown. Anyway, I have the new Saryu, who specializes in light damage, as long as her HP is high. I just have her on wave 1, because I'd love to take advantage of the extra bonus of wave 3, but Curse God always starts with an attack that knocks her HP down, and even with heals from the companions, I just can't get her HP up high enough. And like I mentioned earlier, if she gets hit and her HP goes down, she starts hitting like a noodle. The 40% element buff on the 4000's attack just isn't enough when we're using staffs that just aren't built for attack. Let's try out a run. I like to go full manual on these subjugation battles. I have these two set up as support, so I'm going to make sure their skills go first. This crit buff is very short, 10 seconds, so I'm going to make sure that's the end of the buff chain here.
I'm so strong now.
Drop this attack buff. So, see, the crit buff already came off because the Curse God interrupted me.
Do it.
Pretty annoying. I'm already at 50 seconds and hardly at. This is no good. Try again. I did get SS10 though, and if they hadn't changed it, that would have been the top bracket. And I did quest 3 and really got a high score, and I thought it would have been triple S, but it wasn't. So I'm wondering if you have to be on quest 4 to get the triple S. Let me know if you know. Alright, let's try again. Hope for some better RNG.
You should leave before I change my mind.
Looks like he has a defense buff. I'm just gonna wait for that to come off. I wonder if it does come off. Well, good thing these practice attempts are just infinite attempts, unlike before. Oh man, a minute in. I don't think that... Huh, it doesn't come off. I guess you just have to power through that. It's a lot of things to pay attention to over there. Zolverse asks, wait, 55k power. Was that my force? I'm gonna wait for this pursuit buff to come up. Even though it's a little bit excruciating. Here we go. Pop all of these, even this. And just maximize Saryu. But look, her HP dropped, so 550. I think, yeah, I think that is the total force of all nine characters in the subjugation loadout. That wasn't too bad, I guess, damage-wise. I'm not going to get a knockdown like this, though.
Aim well.
Unless a miracle happens. Now let's just quit again. Alright, Zulverse, I'm coming back out so I can see what you're talking about. So unlike other PvE and PvP, where you have 3 characters, the subjugation works with a 9-character loadout over 3 waves. You have to use 9 different characters. And yeah, the suggested force is 550 considering that, and I'm at 526. I'm not even there. Okay, let's try it again. Come on, good RNG. I need Saryu to not get hit. I need the boss to not take so many actions. I don't know if that even... I think it varies. It can be really frustrating to run subjugation. That's why I like doing it on stream. I kind of keep my temper in check a little more when I'm public. I'm gonna start popping this off and not wait. Okay, Saryu's HP is still decently high. She buffs her own attack with this one. This one relies on high HP.
Go.
An attack buff that'll last for the rest of the battle. This is excruciating, man. This is just not going well. At 40 seconds and the knockdown is... I know that I can get a knockdown with this team.
I'm so strong now.
Come on, Gale. Tip it over the edge. There we go. There we go.
Go.
Let's focus on Saryu here. She has high HP. This should be good.
Come, I'll cut you down.
Nice numbers. What I'd really like is to get her character skill up, but it's not going to happen. So we'll go ahead and buff here, buff here, buff here. And those buffs, I think, will carry into the next wave. And as wrapping up, let me read your comments here. Zolver's talking about their plan on polls. Going for 2P with polls and then getting an A2 dupe with the 200 tickets. I think that's a pretty good idea. These characters are still pretty strong. And unless they pull a jerk move and drop some power creep on us in March, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see reprints next month. Okay, here, this team is... I decided to just make the whole team DPS, which is not usually the strat, but nothing else was really working for me. And maybe some RNG will go in my favor, and I'll be able to get a knockdown, but this 4th tier Curse God is just very tough. I think most global players are hardly ready for it. I've done my share of dolphining in the game, you know, spending money and, you know, keeping up on it every day. And even I'm just nowhere near the top players. Oh, very close to knockdown. Now, okay. Well, I can get an early knockdown in the next wave. Let everyone's skills charge up and then pop them all off and have a nice juicy knockdown.
I'll kill them all.
But this team is strong enough to get their own knockdowns, so I'd rather get 3 knockdowns, which I can definitely do in the 3rd tier, but... Ooh. I just hope Noelle doesn't die right here. Lavagna's almost dead. I say let's go with the... Please don't kill. Okay. Alright, let's pop everything. And by the time we get around to these guys, hopefully their character skill comes up in the knockdown. Lars is going to be up, but I'm skeptical that Lavagna's is going to get up. There it is. I'm going to take it while I can. Boom, boom, boom. I think that's pretty close to cap. Too bad I couldn't get Lavagna's first because he has a defense debuff.
That helps.
Zulverse, there's something else. By the way, is it Zolverse or Zulverse? Anyway, something I'd like to tell you about. There's every month we get Nier Day on the 28th, and we usually have summons that are normal pool summons, but when you and they're cheap, they're only 2,000. So by doing the 5 steps of it, 2,000 each. You spend only 10,000 gems, and you get a set of advanced handbooks out of the deal. And that is the mat for Ascensions. Okay, so SS9, I already knew that wasn't the greatest run. Yeah, and like you say, with the different characters, getting 2P, it's going to be good for this, for Subjugation. Because as you can see, you need to have a loadout of 9 characters. And until you have a good spread of characters, this is kind of how they, this is what I like about this. Because early in the game, people were going for the strat where they focused on one character and tried to get as many Ascensions on them, which is still a good strat because normally you only have 3 characters in your battle. And then there were other people that were more the collection type. Like me, I wanted to pity the character that I hadn't pulled yet, even if all my characters were going to be weaker. So when Subjugation came out, which wasn't out when the game launched, when this feature came out, it kind of rewarded those of us that were the collectionist type. Okay, so Zulverse asks, should I use the 3-star characters and save gems? It's up to you. The 3-star characters can actually be pretty decent. More so than you might think. It's hard to predict. I don't see power creep coming in March. And it sounds like you have quite a bit of story to clear if you haven't unlocked the daily summons yet. So you have 60k now, and you have a lot more to come. You might be okay pitying on the automata. I don't know. I'd hate to give you bad advice. You could always hit up the Reddit or the Discord and get more opinions than just mine. You'll get a variety of opinions there. People are usually pretty responsive on the Reddit. You know, be ready with some screenshots of what you have and your story. You know, like I've spent this much already. Here's what I've gotten. But the other people on Reddit, they don't know too much more about the future schedule than I do. So, all right. Thanks so much for stopping by and chatting. Zulverse and Isaac, thanks so much for chatting. I hope you sub. I will be streaming more of this game. And I agree. They say, I hope this game gets more attention. It's actually amazing, and I agree. I love the game. Sometimes Square Enix doesn't always reserve the most budget for advertising these games. And no problem. Glad to be able to offer any advice that I can. And I do have to go, so thanks so much for watching. And if you're watching on YouTube later, by the way, check out, I have the link to my YouTube channel in my Twitch profile. If you're watching on YouTube later, thanks so much. Drop a like and a sub and all that stuff. And I will see you all next time.